We've come down to Peel, to the foreshore, and John Griffiths from the Friends of the Earth. We've got an item on Manx.net News already about your concerns that you found out, and it seems to me that you came to find out before we heard from the MUA of a problem with a discharge pipe here?
Yes, the sewage pipe from the storage tanks just along the promenade there, it runs out under the jetty behind us here to a point off the breakwater where it discharges into the sea. Unfortunately, on this side of the jetty down there's a leak, and sewage is running out directly onto the beach, particularly at low water, because the sewage can't get washed away because of the jetty being there, if you like. It just builds up in this corner behind us. The day before yesterday I came down and I seen it, and I reported it to the harbour control just up the road there. I went down again yesterday, and there was a number of small children, 4 to 6 years of age, playing on the beach in the water. Sewage was still pumping out, so I went back, contacted the officer again. He hadn't seen it, so I went down and showed him. He then reported it to his line manager. I understand, though, it's an issue that Manx Utilities should be dealing with.
Well, they have said there is a problem. So
yes, well, they've obviously known about it for a week, apparently.
I was looking for signs, though, to say no bathing or anything, but besides dangerous structure over there on the actual jetty bit, there's nothing to say don't swim.
Well, given the amount of sewage that was built up in this corner yesterday, and has probably been ongoing for several days, you would have thought, as just a matter of course, they would have thought it necessary to warn the public. Children can't read. You need to notify the adults so they can keep their children away from it.
Now, the pumping station's behind us, and that discharges only at certain times of days, is it, when it's at high tide?
When the tide's towards low water.
Ah.
And of course that's the time when the water drops below the edge of the jetty, so it can't get away. So it just builds up in this corner. And last week the wind was in a northerly to northwesterly direction, which then blows it onto the beach this way. At the moment it's southeast, it's blowing that way, but on the other direction, because the sewage it's fresh water, it floats on top of the seawater. Nice. So it doesn't mix.
Is there a strong smell of sewage as well?
There was at yesterday, where you could get down to it at low water.
I mean, do you think it's a burst or just a crack?
There's a manhole there.
Ah.
It's happened before. I think I've reported it twice in the last 4 or 5 years, particularly after we get a strong north to northwesterly breeze. It seems to it must move the lid or cause back pressure in the sewer pipe and push it back out. Do
you think they didn't know about the problem until you reported, though? I mean, because it's for some time.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think one of your companions spoke to Manx Utilities, and they said they knew about it for a week. So
Indeed,
that's unacceptable. You know, it's been a busy time, particularly these last few days when there's been nice and there's been people on the beach. I dismay when I see small children down there.
Is that also why there's so many seagulls sitting on the beach, you think, at the moment?
Well, seagulls...
They're feeding off things, or what?
Well, there's nobody on the beach at the moment. And of course dogs aren't allowed on the beach. They normally chase the seagulls away.
Right.
But on occasions, particularly above the high water mark, there may be up to 1,000 seagulls roosting on Peel Beach, and the sand is white with seagull droppings.
Right.
And so of course that dries into the sand, it gets blown around, people take children on the beach.
See, people look at Peel Beach, it's such a beautiful one, and I mean, you're Friends of the Earth, so you obviously take a great interest in this. There's more that should be done, you're thinking here.
Oh, it's a beautiful beach. There's no two ways about that. Probably the most popular beach on the island. However, there are these risks which the sewage creates, because it doesn't just go away off down the coast. It stays into the coast, it gets washed back up again when the tide comes in, circles in round the bay, and that's why Peel has such high levels of faecal coliforms in the monitoring.
What do you think MUA should do? Should they seal this off? Should they put up more signage? What do you think they should do?
Well, they need to do regular checks to make sure it isn't leaking.
Yeah.
Obviously it wants fixing now, but longer term, of course, we're desperately in need of a sewage treatment plant in the west of the island here.